Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. Monday. Welcome to Operation Status Quo. As you well know, we're never sure exactly when we're coming on. Maybe it would help the views on the live stream while I'm live if people knew exactly when I was coming on, what days, what time. I wish I knew that too, ladies and gentlemen, because it would make it a lot easier for me in a certain regard. Well, actually, no, because this is why Operation Status Quo is what it is. It's just a channeled time. It's a time of when the time is right to speak, we just speak. And quite honestly, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I probably should never speak ever, as I've said before. Why am I always talking? Hey, I am Pete Palma. I am your user-friendly host. This is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, most importantly, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So what are you doing out there today to create your own flow of quo? That's what you got to do for yourself, because you know how it is out there. Otherwise, you're giving your power away to other people. Like I like to say lately, if you are not creating your own flow of quo, you're living someone else's flow, and that's a definite no-no right here on Operation Status Quo. Oh, that sounded so nice. Let me give another round of applause. Oh, I gotta get into it. It's been I'm gonna get into it. So I gotta just so silly. All right, today first of all, today is the 10th of March in the good year 2025, and today's program is entitled, Is There a Doctor in the House? Actually, I like to take that even a step further and say, is there a doctor on planet Earth? Is there a doctor anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, that can help people out there? No, it's not really funny. It's really not, actually, when you think about what's going on out there. It's actually quite scary. Yeah, that's more like it. Don't cry. We're going to talk about it. All right, get out of here. All right, so, first I'm going to say this because it's interesting. Sometimes people will reach out to me and say, "Oh, Pete, what have you been doing? What do you do it yourself? What do you do?" When people ask me like what I'm doing or all that kind of stuff, I'm always like, if you really want to know what's going on with me, all you got to do is watch the live streams, because pretty much this facet of my presentation is pretty much an open book. I talk about my life. I really don't care, and things that are going on. I don't always delve into things that are extra personal. I try to sometimes keep things. We all have a personal life, right? So this is a topic that I normally wouldn't speak upon, but I want to today because, it was a rough past couple days, and I just wanted to kind of put this out there because it really goes in line with some of the things I've been speaking about recently of just how our whole system. Remember what Operation Status Quo is all about before I get into the story. Operation Status Quo is a place of seeing what's going on in the world, right? It's a place of reflection. It's a place of saying, we're not just going to do whatever society says to do, right? We're observing. We're taking it. We're not just observing, like we're just looking at it. We're critically thinking and making assessments based on what we're being told and how general functionality of our society operates. And we're trying to say, look, we see the flaws. We see what's going on. We don't have to live in those parameters, right? We don't have to feel subjugated to continuing to try to fit in to a system that is not designed to function in the best interest of humanity at large. It's meant to be dysfunctional. All right. So let me tell this story because I everybody out there loves their pets, right? So I have a cat. You guys know I talk about it once in a while, but I don't really get into it. But just to give a quick background, I was never really a cat person. I never really got a pet because I lived by myself, and I was going back, especially back in the days when I was going to work every day, sitting in a cubicle, wasting my life like a chump. I really felt bad to have an animal and then leave the animal at home all day. So I never really kind of dug in that deep to get an animal because I just felt it wasn't fair to the animal that I wasn't home most of the day. Long story short. Oh my God, I know I got you guys. I appreciate that you enjoy listening to me speak because I know sometimes it just goes round and round, but it always kind of accumulates into some sort of point at some point, and that's where we're really getting there. I promise you, we're getting to a point. But anyway, so yeah, I found this cat actually. It came. My neighbors got divorced and wound up leaving the cat behind and leaving him outside. I didn't find that part out till later. But yeah, at the end of the day, the cat wound up at my door. I took him in, and I started learning about cats. I never had a cat before. Never thought I would have a cat. So, but anyway, I learned a lot from my cat, and I love my cat, and he's a beautiful creature. He's really came into my life in a time that I needed him. Believe it or not. I mean, everybody knows out there who has pets. I don't have to tell you. How important they are to you and the relationship you have. So I don't have to, for lack of better term here, you don't have to. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I'm sorry. Again. Never mind. I wasn't on my right screen for the AO. Anyway, so my cat. I didn't really, he does have some issues, right? I found out years ago, back in 2019, I've had him now for, next week will be 8 years that I've had him. And when I found him, he was not even a year old. So he's basically young, right? So long story short, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to say long story short one more time. Mark it down. Where are we in the video? 6:15, 6:16. Tell me if you hear me say long story short one more time, aside from me just saying it right there, you put it in the comments and you tell me when I said it, because I said I wasn't going to say it past this point. So, he did have I guess he was diagnosed with feline asthma when I take him to the vet one time because he was having these coughing fits. And they basically told me he had to be on medication for the rest of his life. But, I'm not that type of person. I don't believe in our mainstream system that way. And they're, how it is with doctors. They're always trying to scare the crap out of you and do blah, 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 blah. So, I changed his food. I stopped giving him dry food. Started making homemade food. I've been making my own batch of homemade food for my cat for all these years. And he was fine. Had no issues. It really wasn't until that was 2019 when the incident happened with the asthma, and then it wasn't until 2023 that he had another episode where I had to take him again and wound up wasn't able to stop it, so they have to put him on prednisone. So blah blah blah. So that happened, and then he's been good again, right? Until this past when was it? It was December. This past December of 2024, he again had something with the asthma. So I started thinking, because they kept telling me he's got to be on an inhaler all the time, to help him and blah, blah, blah. And I was trying to avoid, I kept trying to do more holistic things, thinking I could quell it. And so maybe I was wrong, whatever, right? I'm just saying, I'd rather err on the side of not giving medications than give medications and cause depletion in quality of life even more so. That's just my personal viewpoint, even for myself. And it's so funny with the way I interact with the vets and all, because even when I had to get a prescription for him, I didn't even know what to do. I don't go to the doctor. I haven't been to a doctor. I don't even know, at least probably like 10 years, aside from my eyes and my teeth. I just don't have no interest. And I see what people go through. You go to the doctor and, they just right away say, X, Y, or Z, and then they want to put you on all these meds, and it turns into all this protocol. And by the time you figure out what's going on, your brains are sliding out of your head from all kinds of prescription drugs, So, but recently he was fine with this asthma thing, right? And now just this past week, actually, I noticed this past week he wasn't going. I'm going to be polite here for the children. It was number 2, little poopy doopies. He wasn't going to the bathroom number 2 really, like every 3 days. So I noticed that this was an issue. I wanted to make an appointment to take him. That's what I was planning to do, to have that checked, because obviously that is something that I would react to. And anyway, he wound up that same day, kind of not passing out, but he just got wobbly and he kind of fell over, and really scared me. And so I got him in to be looked at, and they wound up giving him the blood work and everything, and then the doctor comes out and tells me he's got heart disease. He's got, dental something or other, but I don't know. His teeth look fine to me. I don't know. Yeah. You got to take a little bit grain of salt with what they say, because everything's a problem, right? So anyway, heart disease, which I can see, because that was a possibility of coming to fruition with some of the lung issues that he had. Now, mind you, he's been vibrant through all the years I've had him. He's up, he's around, he jumps up on the windowsill. He has the tree houses. I really try to give him an enriched environment, especially here in Florida. I take him outside a lot, and he sits with me outside. He gets a chance to chase lizards around and see if he can catch a bird, which he hasn't done, but he does try. Anyway, so they tell me all this stuff. So obviously the kidney failure was the big one, right? I was like, okay, well, heart disease, like we can maybe. And then it's so funny because she kept going back and then coming back. Like she showed me, had to give him an enema to get the poop out of him, And then she comes back and says, oh no, he has heart disease and the dental. Then she goes back again to check the blood work was still finalizing. Then she comes back again. She goes, oh, I feel bad every time I come back in here. I have something worse to tell you. And I'm thinking, well, do me a favor then. Don't come in here. Can you help me out? Maybe not knowing's better for me. So anyway, so she tells me that he's got, get that. She tells me that he has the kidney failure. And I'm like, Jesus God, like kidney failure. I mean, that sounds pretty bad. Right. So, and then she wants me to take him to the emergency. She's basically saying he could die any second, take him to the emergency for overnight, care and all this type of thing. And I was just like, I thought, at first I thought, because listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with what I'm saying. Like I love my pet, so I was quite emotional. But I'm also practical. You see how we talk here on Operation Status Quo. We want to think things through. We don't want to. What do I always talk about? I always talk about being responsive and not reactive, right? And I know right away, as soon as you go to one of those places, they're going to check him in. It's going to be thousands of dollars. They're going to pump him full of shit, and he might not last the night anyway. That's what I was thinking, and I would much prefer that he pass in the comfort of his own home with me than being stuck somewhere with tubes or whatever the frig they're going to do for him. I kept thinking of the line in Lethal Weapon, the first Lethal Weapon movie, when Danny Glover is there and they have his daughter and he pulls the grenade out of his pocket and he goes, if she going to die, she going to die with me, my way, not yours. So that's how I was feeling, So I took him home and I just gave myself this weekend to, reflect of what action I was going to take. Like, am I going to take him to emergency? Let me see how he does. If he passes away, he passes away. But I have to say that, he's rebounded. I guess I'm just really realizing for myself, that I'm talking this through with you, my audience too, because I just never really realized that he had these issues. And of course, then you start thinking, all these things like, oh my gosh, like, maybe I am dumb for not taking him to the vet sooner. Maybe they would have caught something. I could have done something different. Then I go, nah, because they would have told me something back then. Oh, we see the possibility of this. And I would have been like, because I just don't believe in our medical system. So it just is what it is. I wouldn't have done it. So I kind of checked that off the list. And then I started thinking too, like, because, maybe I was, the food. I mean, I'm giving them all good stuff. It's, organic chicken and salmon and chicken livers, chicken hearts, sweet potato, like all stuff that I feel is a good mix, so I thought, maybe I wasn't feeding them right. Maybe he was missing some nutrients that would have prevented. And I think about, people are giving their cats Fancy Feast or, Purina or some shit that's total shit. So I don't know, right? So I said, so I'm not going to really do that. Then I really thought too, and this isn't about me trying to justify that I didn't do nothing wrong. I just mean, I kind of have to say it to myself because, someone who loves, even if it was somebody in your family, whatever, right? If you love somebody or your pet, you want to make sure that you feel, I guess, you want to feel you did your best. But then you think too, like how these animals are bred, for domestication and it's just like everything else in our society. It's all cookie cutter and nonsense. Like you don't even know, I don't even know what kind of genetic predispositions he may have had or what his family lineage was. I don't know. I just found him. I don't know where he came from. I don't know anything, so you start realizing all this stuff and it all fits together. So like, the crux to the story here is about how bad our system is and how things don't operate. Because I just want to say it in these terms because this is what brought me to this whole thing today. So they had given me some prescription cat food when I was with him that is specific for his condition. So I have some cans that they gave me. Then I realized, you know what? I think I'm going to switch over now. I said, he's got this. I'm not going to give him the food I've been giving him anymore. I want to give him this. It's for this condition. Let me see if it helps. So I decided to go out to PetSmart today and get some cans of this food, right? And I didn't know, again, because I guess I'm ignorant because I never go to doctors or I'm not involved in that way. I never really think like that. So, I went to PetSmart. I found what I wanted. I'm at the register, and then the woman asked me for the prescription. I go, no, I don't have a prescription. And she's like, well, you have to have a prescription to buy this. And I go, I'm thinking it's freaking cat food. You know what I'm saying? And she goes, yeah, this is prescription food. It's like you're getting a prescription from the doctor. You have to blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, oh my. So I said, well, can I call my vet and see if they can, give approval? So she says, yeah. Right. So I call my vet while I'm there at the PetSmart and seeing if I can get approval. And, then, of course, the vet office is telling me that we can't we can't give a verbal over the phone. I'm like, I'm a freaking patient. Then I start, how I am. Like I start getting worked up. I go, listen, I'm not mad at you. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. My damn cat is suffering over here. You guys gave me this food. I'm over here. I'm trying to get the food for my cat. Can somebody help me in some capacity? What do I need to do? I need to drive over to you, get a prescription, come back to PetSmart. I'm at the damn register. Can you help me out? Oh, sorry. I understand. And, they've been very nice at this vet. So I don't even want to, I'm not criticizing. That's the whole thing. And that's what I said to the girl when I did go over and get the prescription from the vet for the food. When I did go get it, I said, the whole thing is like crazy. It's not like I'm selling cocaine on the street over here. We're talking about freaking cat food, prescription cat food. Like, what are we talking about? What kind of crazy world are we living in? You know what I mean? Like the system, that's what I told her. I said, I'm a big advocate. I said, the whole system is flawed. I said, I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming the vet. I'm not blaming the cable company. I'm not blaming anybody. It's the whole system. And what gets me, and what I talk about here on Operation Status Quo, and the point of where I'm going with everything today, is that the system is designed to fail. And yet everybody just keeps doing the system. Like even with the vet, why would you not, they call the next day, the office calls, well, I just want to follow up from the appointment. But, no vet themselves, like the actual vet, they're not thinking the woman that helped me, she was very nice and she did a nice job. And I understand they see a lot of people, but this is the whole point of being in this kind of profession, medical and stuff. I don't know, for me, maybe I'd be different if I was a doctor, which I would never be a doctor because I wouldn't learn all their bullshit. I'd probably be a better doctor without learning all their nonsense. But anyway, just to say, why not? Nobody gives a call. Oh, just want to, how's, how did he react? How's he been over the last couple of days? I know I must be crazy, right? To think that humans would do that. They would give a call and say, we just realized, we want to see, I know it was a traumatic situation when you were here on Friday and you got hit with a lot of stuff. How you feeling? What do you think? Would you like to come back in and maybe we can do, a further follow-up examination, maybe come up with a protocol that would be useful. It's like, everybody just wants to wipe their hands. She saw numbers in the blood work that said kidney failure, and she has to make sure she's not liable, right? It's just, and the office isn't liable, and nobody loses their license or anything else. So, you got to take them to emergency. And I'm just thinking, okay, well, here it is. It was Friday. We're here on Monday, and he's doing pretty good. He's been going to the bathroom. I'm gonna get the whole thing, but I was just trying to say, it's not like what would have been a difference if I would have taken him? Would have been more stress on him. It would have been, he might have been worse. He might have passed away just from the stress and anxiety of going through everything. It's just our world. There's no compassion in a sense. It really got me today when I called, with this prescription cat food thing. And I'm just I didn't even realize I need an actual paper for a prescription for this food. You're selling it in PetSmart. I don't know. I just thought I could buy it, It's just, I don't know. It's cat food, I'm like, why would I buy? What am I going to do with it? Am I sniffing, prescription cat food? Or what am I doing with it? What am I doing with it? I don't know. And they're like, oh, well, we got this. The woman at PetSmart said we got to make sure because if it's a prescription, the cat could get sick. And I'm just thinking, what kind of mindset, what kind of world are we operating in? It just doesn't make any sense. So, long story short, oh my God, I said I wasn't going to say it, and I did. I said it. No. What is it? We're at 18:51. 18:51. I made it over 12 minutes. I said I wasn't going to say it. Oh, that's too funny. So, basically, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we do in Operation Status Quo. I'm bringing my personal life into this a little bit today because it is quite emotional for me with that, and it is for all of us, and I saw what even my grandparents and family members are going through with doctors when they had progressive illnesses, back when, and we all know the system's like totally effed up, right? We all know it, but yet we just keep doing it. We don't say no. That's the way it is. No, we understand, and everybody wants to help. We understand, but I mean, why not just go on the? Why not the vet just get on the phone and say, yeah, Pete was here. He was here in our office on Friday. I prescribed his food. I'm so and so from the such and such. I mean, just like what the frig? What's it take? 2 seconds? Like, well, what are you going to get in trouble? You're going to get in trouble because you said. I mean, I'm the patient. I'm the guy. It's not like somebody else is calling on my behalf, right? I'm calling. I'm calling for my cat. What do you think I'm freaking doing here? It's like, but it's just so frustrating because it's bad enough that people, you get emotional because you care and all that about your loved ones, your animals, whatever. You're trying to do the best you can, and then you got to fight against this protocol and the system that doesn't make any sense and doesn't work in the best interest of what's going on. And it's like, if I want to follow up now and find out and whatever, it's all these extra visits and all this paperwork and all this to do, and then it's it's $1,000 here and $1,000 there. It's like it's different with a person in a way. At least a person can speak and say, hey, how you feel, like what's bothering you, do it. I'm just trying to figure it out, and I look at him. And I've said to myself, he's here, he's comfortable, he's doing okay right now. And if it's later today, if it's tomorrow, or if it's 2 years from now, if time comes that I have to, put him down, because that's kind of what she said, the vet, and I guess that's what I'll do. That's the last thing I want to do. I would prefer for him just to, pass peacefully here, if that's what's meant to be. But right now, he seems okay. He's up and about. He's eating, So if you guys care about my cat, I know. But you can always leave, if you care about my cat, and you appreciate what I'm talking about, just click like or put a comment or click subscribe if you haven't, and just support the channel, because this channel, as we're moving forward with everything I do, and I really kind of twisted into more so not just even about, criticizing. I don't want to even criticize. Like I'm not against the doctors. I'm not against the idea of what they want to do. What are they supposed to do? They go to school and learn, and they're taught shit, purposely, because no one's really meant to help each other. And then you're trying to do your best to be a physician in a position, and then you can't really you can only work within a certain limitation of options. It's just like, it's all effed up, and everybody should everybody should say, no, we're not doing it. But that's what we're working towards. That's what Operation Status Quo is all about. And I'm just bringing it up. It's another facet, because that's what we do on Operation Status Quo. We observe all the facets of life, and in general, we know the system isn't working, and we're moving forward towards breaking free of those confines. I still really believe it. That's why I am who I am. That's why I'm here on YouTube. That's why I do the music that I do. The album's coming out May 2nd. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, I don't care about anything else. I just really want to be an advocate. I want to be an advocate. I want to speak for the person that knows it's effed up, but they're afraid to speak up or something, or they don't have the capacity to speak up, or they're in a position where, they're downtrodden on. I want to be an advocate for these people and speak up. I want to be the voice that says, no, we're going to do things differently, and we're going to help people for real, and not live this way where you're putting people through stress. I mean, I'm going to leave it at this, because it just blows my brain. Like, you saw me there on Friday, like devastated, okay, and crying my eyes out. You saw me, and you know what's going on. Why are you making it more difficult for me? Because you're worried about, that's not the protocol and we can't do it. I don't want to blame the individuals, because they're nice people and they're only working, but nobody thinks, at some point, some of these people, you got to have balls too, and you got to be willing to step outside of the system and just say, no, this isn't right. And the more people to get together and do things in that capacity, then we will have freedoms. We will have better choices. We will have proper care, proper education, proper food. We'll have it all, because people won't just go, oh, well, that's what you have to do, So that's it. All right. I love you guys out there. All right. Pray for my cat. I hope he makes it a little bit longer. I do. I'm being nice. I mean, I pretty much, was very emotional through the weekend, and I'm better today. So I'm able to, I've already kind of processed that, really realizing where the situation is, and whatever's going to be is where it's going to be. I'm a big believer. I said I was going to leave it at this, but I'm going to leave it at this. I'm a big believer that everything happens for a reason, that we choose our lives, and everything in our life is a reflection of a part of us, and everything is in our lives for lessons that need to be learned or whatever. This world isn't real. Our physical nature isn't real. If my cat passes away tomorrow, he's not dead really. He's moved on into whatever, another space. It's all no time, no space. I know all this, but we live in this world of duality. We live in our physical nature. We have the emotions that we have. So, we work with them, we process them, we do what we have to do. But at the same time, I just trying to say, I do see the bigger picture and everything. I just, again, want to do my part to try to bring thoughts to people to say, just go to your vet and say, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. A lot of people would have been bullied into taking the animal to the emergency. And then if the animal did pass, they'd be beating themselves up over whether they didn't do the right thing or whatever. So anyway, I love you guys out there individually as well as a group. It's true. So I appreciate you being with me here today on Operation Status Quo. Is there a doctor in the house? Doctor. Somebody get me a doctor. Doctor, give me the news. I'm so tired of listening to you. Hey-o. All right. If you haven't done so already, please take the time to like, subscribe, share. Send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and, of course, those you despise as well. Maybe some of those doctors, too. See if they'll help us out. All right. I love you guys out there. I said that already, but I don't hesitate to say it a second time. Be well. I'll be back with you soon. Until next time, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.
It's a boulevard of 10 short blocks.